I'm still waiting on Mormon Shaggy's interesting little interview with the pedo hunter that caught grossly offensive being a degenerate little boy to take place. But as I wait for that, I figured we'd go over more of the Mormon Shaggy stream where he throws a complete and total temper tantrum about me because I noticed he was talking about grossly offensive and, well, since we're all aware of the gay ob Shaggy tried to pull on grossly offensive yesterday, I'd figure we go over something just a little bit earlier to that, kind of like the prelude to the gay ops involving Mormon Shaggy and grossly offensive. So, I got it all lined up. So let's go, shall we?
Pirate. You know, Leo Pirate, you're gonna have to wait because I actually do have something I want to talk to you about first. You're just that fucking irrelevant. Grossly offensive.
You know, it's funny how Mormon Shaggy likes to say that Leo Pirate is irrelevant. Meanwhile, he was getting all of this fucking evidence that grossly offensive is a pedophile from, you guessed it, Leo Pirate. So, I guess Leo Pirate really isn't all that irrelevant there.
Now, as you all saw, I butt fucked grossly.
You know, it truly does amaze me how you can literally find a clip of Mormon Shaggy going on a gigantic tirade about how homosexuals do not deserve the right to be in the same church as Shaggy, how they're abominations in the eyes of God, how they deserve to be in their own little church, and yet God won't bless their church because they're heathens. And not that long afterwards, you could find a clip of Mormon Shaggy saying he butt fucked the ever living shit out of grossly offensive. The internet is truly a fascinating place.
I know, very rude of me. Very impolite. You know, that probably wasn't the diplomatic way to handle the situation. But I felt that I had to take the mute button, bind his hands with it, bind his feet with it, use it like duct tape, and just rape the shit out of him live. Because he wouldn't stop talking about how he wants to...
Keep in mind, again, this is the same guy who will literally throw a massive temper tantrum that there are gay people in the same church that he is attending, and it seemingly has no problem describing how he tied up grossly offensive and raped his ass.
Fuck dogs and fuck dead children. And there's a whole Discord of him.
Okay, so not only is grossly offensive an alleged pedophile that tried to convince a 14-year-old boy to eat his own shit, but now grossly offensive likes to fuck dogs and dead children. Again, this is all coming from Mormon Shaggy's mouth, so you'll forgive me if I'm taking everything he says with a massive pinch of salt.
Describing just absolutely grotesque sexual acts performed on dogs and dead children. I'm not going to read that because grossly isn't a lolcow.
Really? That definitely sounds like lolcow-esque style behavior, or at the very least horror cow. You know, that definitely sounds like something a horror cow would be saying, if this stuff about grossly offensive was indeed true. Which, again, this is Mormon Shaggy that's saying all this shit, so I'm gonna have to take this with a massive grain of salt.
Grossly wouldn't know a lolcow if one literally bit him in the ass.
Well, seeing as how you really want to seeing as how you just went on a tirade about tying up grossly offensive and fucking him in the ass, it really wouldn't surprise me if you bit him in the ass too there, Shaggy.
fucking Justin Coolidge walked up and slapped him on the ass. Grossly would not know that he was staring at a fucking lolcow, because that is not Grossly's game. Grossly is not a fucking wrangler. He's just a very bitter man on the internet.
The same can be said about you, aside from the fact that you're a psychopath and a global idiot.
Very bitter man who wishes he was PPP.
No one wants to be PPP. There is not a single person out there who desperately wants to be PPP. Especially now. Because let's be real here, PPP was a one-trick pony. The only good thing PPP has ever done was make Dick Masterson spurg out hard on Nick Rekieta's show. It was also a leading factor to why New Project 2 inevitably shut down. That's it. The only reason why Ashton has lasted this long is because as soon as word got out that Medicare got cancer, people were just looking for a new Daddy Jim, and PPP capitalized on that opportunity.
Very sad dream indeed. You know, at least on the internet. You know, he's a bitter, sad fuck on the internet. In real life, no, he's not a loser at all. You see, he hauls gas for the Jews.
So on the internet, Grossly Offensive is a bitter, sad little man who may or may not be sexually attracted to children, alive or dead, and dogs, and in his real life, he's a truck driver that carries around gasoline for the Jews. Sounds like Mormon Shaggy here is quite jealous that Grossly Offensive has a way better job than Shaggy here. You know, maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me. Maybe Shaggy desperately wishes that he was a truck driver, driving around and dropping off gasoline for the Jews.
He's a truck driver, not a long-haul truck driver, not like a real truck.
Well, as far as I'm aware, Grossly Offensive lives in the UK, and the UK is a really small country. So I really don't think it's even remotely possible for someone like Grossly Offensive to be a long-haul truck driver when your nation's literally a fucking island.
But he's like someone who's almost a trucker, right?
What do you mean he's almost a trucker? I mean, he's got his trucking license. He hauls cargo around. By that definition, Grossly Offensive is a trucker.
You know, I'm just a counselor. I'm just a college-educated counselor.
No, you're a fucking nut job who had a counseling job, but because you threw a massive temper tantrum, you no longer have a job. Now you just do fucking live streams all the time where you simp for DJ Axel and attack anyone and everyone that hurts your goddamn feelings. That's what you do all day now, Shaggy. Well, then you collect welfare checks. But anyway, continuing.
Who, you know, I'm just a guy who's literally saved lives.
That's going to be a huge X to doubt on that, because the words Mormon Shaggy and saving lives are genuinely words that do not mix. At least, you know, from my perspective. Maybe I'm wrong. Probably not. Anyway, continuing.
I don't have any room to be talking to a man who has a family because he drives a truck. And he drives a truck so he can have a family. As he was telling me, or screaming or some shit. But, while Grossly may be, like, the greatest truck to ever haul that fucking gasoline, from one fucking station from one fucking pump to the next, or wherever the fuck they haul it, right? Well,
They haul it to gas stations, Shaggy. That's what they do. They haul gasoline from the refinery, the gasoline refinery, and they drive it out to the pumps so that the gas stations can refill their station full of gas.
he may be the very fucking best, like no one's ever fucking been at that. One thing he sucks at lately is producing it.
Okay, so I'm not a truck driver, but it really doesn't sound that hard for you to drive a giant tanker full of gas from, the gas refinery all the way to a gas station. It sounds like anyone can do it provided they've been given ample amount of training beforehand.
Any form of content is engaging in any sort of banter, because I've noticed that when he goes live, he fucking sucks. I've noticed when it's his content, it fucking sucks.
You do realize the same thing can be said about you and your content, right? Like, I unironically enjoy your content because you just ramble on about people and you make up the most ridiculous of stories about them. But other than that, you're pretty fucking boring there, buddy.
When he he can't even beat me. I managed to fucking butt rate him with some fucking, with basically the.
Okay, again, this is the same guy who throws a temper tantrum when he sees a gay couple holding hands and kissing in the same church that he is attending, and yet he has no problem whatsoever going on this gigantic tirade about how he raped Grossly Offensive.
Mute button, which is like the equivalent of fucking duct tape. Like,
if you seriously have to mute someone in a Discord call that you're having bants with, you fucking lost. Okay, I think it goes without question that if you do that, you have just handed yourself a massive fucking L.
And I managed to trigger him. Imagine getting triggered into
Shaggy, you were the one that fucking muted Grossly Offensive. If there's anyone that was triggered in that situation, it was definitely you there, okay?
grotesque sexual actions, like that, like Surfer did there. That's not a good place to be. That wasn't a win for Surfer. That was probably the biggest fucking loss he's ever had, and I think he's realized that now. That's why you won't hear him describing men's anatomies anymore. He doesn't describe colonoscopies anymore, right? Because he knows it's gay. But Grossly saw that, and I guess it got him hard. I guess the thought of, relations between me and Axel.
Okay, so do you actually have this evidence where Grossly Offensive got turned on over Drunken Surfer reading his weird and bizarre fanfic between you and DJ Axel? Or is this another one of your weird, deranged stories that you're pulling out of your ass? I'm gonna go with the latter rather than the former. Anyway, continuing.
That got him. Must have reminded him about the fantasies he used to have about what he might like to do with Axel and what he might wish Axel might do to him.
Okay, again, where is Mormon Shaggy getting this idea that Grossly Offensive wants to have sexual relations with DJ Axel? Last time I checked, Grossly Offensive is a child, so he's not DJ Axel's type.
And, that got him aroused and also angry, because he knows now that those dreams can never be.
That sounds like a massive W in my book, Not having sex with DJ Axel, the pedophile, that sounds like a massive fucking W.
So he started, thinking of that, probably being reminded of that. He employed the same tactic that Surfer attempted there. he attempted to fucking, like, and we're talking about grossly now. I don't know if but like, he started trying to depict.
The audience is aware that you are talking about grossly offensive. They just don't care. Believe me. I rewatched the part where he starts rambling on about me, and the audience was just too busy focusing on something else than, well, whatever the hell Mormon Shaggy was rambling on about.
Like, just a horrible thing. And you all heard it. I'm not going to retrace that. But my point here is Grossly didn't used to need to do that. Grossly didn't used to try to imitate Surfer. And what it is that Grossly really is a mimic. He's a ditto. Grossly doesn't have a character of his own. Grossly can't do his own character. All he can really do is imitate someone else. Try and be someone else. He can try to be PPP. He can try to be Squire.
Who really wants to imitate people like PPP and Squire? Just who? Can someone please direct me to a tweet where you have this one dude saying, man, I would give anything to be just like PPP or Squire Gothos. I guarantee you're never gonna find a person that said that. And especially, you're never gonna find a person who really wants to imitate me. Now, I would absolutely be amazed and astonished that someone would like to be me or imitate me, but I'm not gonna hold my breath on that.
And if he's going at me, since he can't really go at Axel anymore because he's heartbroken and butthurt over what happened with the rent.
You're just an easier target for someone like Grossly Offensive to go after. Because you literally get triggered over the most mundane of things. You can type in Forge Gang in his goddamn YouTube chat, and within seconds, he's gonna go on a massive fucking tirade against you. Believe me, I should know. I've done it before, and I very much look forward to doing it again. And again, and again, and again, and again.
Right? He'll try to imitate Surfer, but he's not Surfer. He's just fucking Grossly, and he's not very offensive anymore. Grossly simply isn't offensive anymore. It doesn't offend me to hear you describe.
Yeah, Grossly isn't simply offensive anymore. Really doesn't roll off the tongue there.
Being a degenerate sexual fantasy of you inflicting yourself on a dog.
Again, where is this evidence that Grossly Offensive fucks dogs? I get that this is Mormon Shaggy we're talking about here, but you can't just be claiming that Grossly Offensive fucks dogs without you providing some form of evidence.
Or inflicting yourself on, a dead child. Whatever the fuck you were trying to describe there
Okay, if Grossly Offensive actually did try to have sex with a dead child, he would have been arrested on the spot. Can we be real here? If Grossly Offensive tried to molest a child's corpse, if he tried to do that, he'd be in a jail cell right now.
Discord, that's not the way. Now, and I think we need to do a fucking PSA here, because this shit.
Oh boy, here we go. PSA time with Mormon Shaggy. Let's see where this crazy train goes.
It's spreading like a disease, right? Describing grotesque happenings, actions, events, or relations between people, especially men, that you know on the internet, is not banter. If you want to write a fan fiction about Mormon Shaggy having butt sex with elves in Morrowind or something, and then read it to your fan base grossly, go ahead and do that. But change your name, because that's not really offensive. It's just really gay. maybe grossly.
Why do I have the feeling the only person that's really having fantasies about Mormon Shaggy having sex with elves in the video game is Mormon Shaggy and only Mormon Shaggy? Maybe it's just me, but it definitely sounds like something Mormon Shaggy would definitely be thinking in his deranged head of his.
Homosexual, grossly unfunny, grossly inappropriate. That might be a good one. Yeah, we don't really like. It's not a good idea to attempt to smear someone else's character by revealing just how fucked up your own mind can be, right? Like, I reveal how
You're the one to talk there, buddy.
fucked up my mind is as like a self-depreciating fucking shot against myself. It's sort of like,
Well, I guess I can stop calling Mormon Shaggy schizophrenic Shaggy and start calling him Masochist Shaggy now.
I could hide this and pretend I'm like just the holiest man, but I feel like this is my confession, really. This is sort of like my confessional.
Okay, if your idea of a confessional is to admit your sins to the internet, especially when your YouTube live chat is infested with trolls and your A-logs, then you are on a whole nother level of stupid.
I don't confess to a man in a booth. I confess to just like,
No, you don't confess. You don't confess to a priest in a booth. You confess to a bunch of people on the internet who want to point and laugh at you.
randoms on the internet, I guess. It serves the same purpose. If you hear it, God hears it. And I'm not a perfect person. That's why I'm here. Like, to let you see my sins. Let me hear what is your.
Yes, we hear your sins, and then we turn around and we point and laugh at you for them. Because you are a gigantic fucking idiot who honestly cannot keep his mouth shut.
Honest fucking take on that, all that shit. And if you're not just being a total fucking sack of shit, I'll listen. I'm not just here for praise and adulation.
X'd it out on that.
It actually, I was very fucking reluctant, probably more reluctant than anyone to start the banning. But grossly hides behind a fucking mask. He hides behind a mask because, again, he has no face. He's a mimic. He's a ditto.
Maybe the reason why Grossly Offensive does all his videos behind a mask is because he would like to protect his anonymity. Have you ever considered that there, Shaggy? I mean, you have no job, so you literally have nothing to lose, but other people are not like you, myself included.
And he's good at what he does, which is to mimic someone else, to basically copy someone else's act.
With all this talk about Mormon Shaggy complaining that Grossly Offensive mimics others, I'm starting to get this feeling that Mormon Shaggy is jealous that Grossly Offensive is not mimicking him. Again, maybe that's just me,
But he's only good at it when he really knows that person, and he's really obsessed with that person and invested in that person like he was with Axel. If you were...
Yeah, it definitely sounds like Shaggy here is jealous that Grossly Offensive is not imitating him.
Paul, back when Grossly was making good content, the content that was worth subscribing for, like the story he did about Surfer inheriting the Kino or whatever, that was when he was trying to be DJ Axel.
What?
That was when he was trying to be PPP.
Again, there is not a single person on the internet who wants to imitate PPP. And there are definitely no people whatsoever who want to imitate DJ Axel the child molester.
But now he's just Grossly, and that's sad. Bitterness has consumed him. But it's okay, because you know what? He's going to haul that gas for the kikes. Anyway, we...
You know what? It really doesn't matter in the end, because Grossly Offensive is still going to have himself his good paying job so he can support his family, and Morbid Shaggy is still going to sit there in his trailer collecting welfare bucks and go on incoherent rants. And this is where I'm going to end this little video here. Now, I don't even know, frankly, if we're ever going to get this little interview between Shaggy and this pedo hunter here, but I am very much looking forward to that if that actually happens. But that isn't going to stop me from going over other various videos of Morbid Shaggy here, because I really do think I've struck gold with this dude. Then again, I said the same thing about Trippy Poop, and well, we all know what happened there. Anyways, have a good rest of your day.